The graphics and stuff. I'm wondering if that's a whole.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, as of now, my podcast partner, Joe Hartley, is here right now, and coming shortly will be Angel Diaz. What's up, Joe?
What's up, man?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Tuesdays, you got the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Thursdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel. Uh, I believe every other Wednesday you got the traditional way with Brett Shumway, and then once a month we got the extra scoop with Peyton and Jeff. Look, for more information, just check us out on all of our social media platforms. Look for the Martial Arts Internet Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Joe, it's showtime. What's happening, man?
Good work, man. Good work.
On the fly.
It is what it is, you know. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Nothing crazy. You know, I I always have a good story here and there, and this one's not that great, but it's just funny. So I
Mm,
talked about my mom's lawn guy, right?
right.
Got her a new lawn guy, same price, no problem. Everything's good, no problems, everything. So she's up north on Friday. She calls me on Sunday. She goes, "Guess who called?" I said, "I don't know, Ma. Usually it's like, one of my family members who's, having an issue or something like that." So
Hmm.
I that's what I expected. But no, it was the old lawn guy. After a week and a half, he called. First off, he showed up and mowed the lawn that was already mowed 2 days ago. And then, when she's not there, she leaves the money in a hidden spot. So he was probably like, "Oh, where's my money?" So he calls her up and he's like, "Oh, Mrs. Hartley." She's like, "What? I've been trying to get a hold of you for a week and a half." She's like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Oh, there was a this and that and that and this, and my son was supposed to call you, never did." And he apologized to her a million times. So of course she calls me and says, "Oh, I feel so bad, Joe, but I need to cancel the other guy because this guy does a better job. He was very apologetic. She feels loyal to him."
Hmm.
Now, I love my mom
That puts
and
you in an
I
awkward
love to help
position.
her out. Well, I love to help her out, and I don't have a problem with that, right?
Hmm.
But I went onto Facebook in the commerce area Facebook page, which by the way is the best way to find people to do
Okay.
stuff. I've done this. This is the third time I've done this. You get the second you post something, you get 25 people in your inbox ready to help. It's
Mm,
great.
okay.
So I mean, just anybody out there, I don't know about your area, but I'm telling you right now, I had 3 people ready to give me quotes, and they were at the house within an hour giving quotes for the
Oh,
lawn. It was fantastic. Got a guy, gave us the right price. He was out that day, mowed the lawn, no problem. So that's where I have an issue because I took half my day to get this for you. And then you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Uh, go and can you go cancel that?" So I'm like, man, this poor dude just, thought he had him another $50 a week. And now he's like,
I
I
wonder
just told
if
him, sorry.
I wonder if he felt like she didn't like his work.
Well, and I will say the other dude does a better job. He has better equipment. And this kid, she said, missed a few spots and did. But I mean, he's a younger kid. He's just probably, and frankly, you know what? For what she's paying him and how old he is, she probably could just said, "You know what? I really like that you made it over here, and I think maybe you were in a rush or something, but if you could just, check over there and check over there, that'd be great." And you probably solve the issue.
Hmm.
But, again, I didn't blame her. I didn't get mad because she was like so hesitant to call me. She was like, "Oh, well, you're not mad at me." I'm like, "Ma, it's not a problem. I don't know this guy, but I can tell you one thing: if the other dude flakes on you again, I'm not calling this dude because he's probably going to charge double."
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So I hope the other guy's issue, was honest and because you can't just I don't understand no matter what you have going on. He said he had an emergency out of town. like in California. And I
Okay.
don't understand how why would you put it on your son to call? Just call from your phone.
Right. Well, I
Like,
mean, I guess it kind of depends. Like if he has a bunch of clients, then the son, or if he didn't have time to contact everyone, I can understand that. He kind of passes, that on to someone else, especially if it's an emergency. I kind of
yeah,
get that, but it just kind
I
of
just
depends.
it just rubbed me the wrong way is all because I don't
Oh, I
like when
understand what you're saying. I definitely get
yeah.
that. I definitely understand what you're saying.
But so I did it, and we're back on track and everything like that. So we're good until the next crisis. And other than that, my oldest, we took her driving today because she's got her first part of her driving, like on the road. She's got to do
Mhm.
3, and then she can take her written test, and then after she passes that, she can finally get a permit and start putting in her hours. And I don't. I think it's up to 100 hours, and some of it has to be nighttime.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, I'd have to look into it because I didn't have to do that when I was younger, but that's the newest thing in the past 10 or 15 years, I think.
Yeah.
So anyhow, so once she gets all her hours in and then takes the actual road test, she'll be a licensed driver. So I'm guessing probably in the next 6 to 8 months. She's not in a hurry.
Oh
She's,
well, yeah.
she has a lot of anxiety about stuff like this, so she's not in any hurry.
hmm And a lot of kids. I saw something that a lot of kids aren't now anyway because they can always Uber somewhere or
Yeah,
get a lift or something. So yeah, I mean that helps you out in the pockets too. You don't have to worry about adding someone else, another driver to your insurance.
yeah, but it's there, man. Like we're at that point, so like I'm already ready for it. Like I said, I'm pushing hard to get this promotion at work because it will help out a lot.
Man, I can't imagine what mine is going to be when it's that time for me because living in Detroit, they already give it to you.
I know,
Just because
man.
you live in Detroit. So my
This is
insurance
ridiculous.
is higher than my car note, which doesn't
That's
make
ridiculous.
sense because
It really doesn't.
I'm 47, haven't had
Yeah,
any
it's
car
stupid.
accidents, I haven't had any speeding tickets. So why is my insurance $400 a month? Makes no sense at
So,
all.
driving in Detroit is a risk. It's like driving anywhere is a risk.
It makes
You
no
ask me.
sense at all.
And then, Layla, she is my middle one. She is away at band camp. So she did her home camp last week, which is at the school. So she comes home every day from that. And now she's away in Milford. It's basically like 5th grade camp,
hmm
only it's all marching band.
hmm
So they're learning how to march and they're learning how to do that and play, which she told me she's having a lot of trouble. She's like, I can play, Dad, and I can march, but I can't play and march. It's so funny because my wife and I kind of had the same plan. We just told her, well, if you know how to play already and you got to put them together, just learn the marching because that's what you've never marched. So learn the
mm,
marching and just pretend to play, and then you can put it together later.
yeah, that makes
So
sense.
I thought that's what I said. I said, if you're so worried about it and having trouble with it, like just look, because you need to learn the marching. You don't want to be out there at a big performance and, tripping everybody up or falling over. So, but
hmm
that was yesterday. Today, she said she had a better day. So I tried telling her, I'm like, listen, those other kids know what they're doing because they've been there. There's only 3 freshmen in her section. So everybody else knows how to do it and they're helping her out. So she'll get
Okay.
it. She's one of those. She's like a perfectionist, which I don't know where she gets that from because I'm not like that. My wife sure is probably like that. Like, don't get me wrong, we want to do stuff and do it well, but I'm not like, oh, the first time I pick something up, I'm not like, oh, it has to be perfect. Like,
You
I'm
know what?
good making mistakes.
I got a question for you. Now that you just brought up
Sure.
your wife, because watching Cobra Kai, I have a feeling. Now, I don't know your wife very well at all. I only talked to her the one time on here, but I have a feeling she is like your Amanda. Is she like your Amanda? Like she
To a
brings you,
certain extent, yes.
she brings things in focus for you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
It seemed that way. Okay, I got you. A lot of the
Well,
stories you tell, yeah.
we've been together for so long. Like
Hmm.
she knows, she played me like a fiddle. Like she knows, and the same is true about her
Hmm.
because she has her own things. Because like she is a she's a left brain thinker,
Okay.
and I'm a right brain. So, and with that, like she's very creative, but she also has trouble turning her brain off.
Oh no, well, that's me all day, man.
Yeah, I believe it because you're the same.
That's
You're
me all day.
creative as well.
Yeah,
So
that's me all day.
I am here because I don't have that issue. When it's time to shut it down, I'm like, shut it down. So
I
when I
can't.
see her and I see the hamster wheel moving, I
Yeah.
do. I tell her all the time. I'm like, I tell her all the time. I'm like, babe, you gotta breathe and shut it down. It's time. It's over. Like, shut it down. It's good. We're okay. And then, for me, when I need a little motivation and I gotta pick it up and I'm shutting it down for too long, she'll give me a kick in the butt. What up, man?
What's
What's
up?
up, Angel?
So
Yeah,
yeah, we work really well with each other pretty most of the time.
yeah, that's the same with Melissa, man. Like she can look at me and we have this little joke, like she'll tell me to close my tabs because it's like a computer screen in my
Yes,
head.
yes,
She'll say close those
100%.
tabs, like because
Yes,
she can just look
yes.
at me until I'm thinking about something. Yeah, so
I'm
I get
telling
it,
you,
man.
man.
I get
I'm
it.
telling
I
you
get it.
all the time. So I tell her that's a good one. I like that because I'm always like, I'm gonna come in there and grab that little hamster and throw him. Like he keeps running on that wheel. You got to shut it down sometimes. So
Yeah, sometimes like we'll talk about something. What's today? Tuesday. We'll talk about something today, right? And on Friday, I will bring it back up because it's still playing in the background in my brain, you know. And she'll say like, "You're still thinking about that?" And I'm like, "No, I
I'm
wasn't
telling you,
thinking about it, but it's still there, you know."
yep,
So yeah,
yep.
so I definitely get that.
That's funny. That's hilarious. I mean, that's literally we both have the same household, just opposite
Yeah,
spouses.
right.
Um, how you been, Angel?
I've been chilling, bro. Just working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the new school?
Working, man. Literally just
I know.
keep painting, keep finding new things to fix. It's just work.
All right, man.
But everything else is going good. Pretty much that's it.
Are you ready? Are you ready for school to start back up? When you got to go back? You got like 3 weeks or so.
I don't know. I'm not even paying attention. Like I
He's
care.
gonna get a call. He's gonna get a call, Joe. Like, you're supposed to report today. Oh yeah, really?
Now, you're at another new school, right?
Yeah.
Dang, bro. I mean, like, that's crazy. I can't believe that.
Yeah, that's my life.
So, what do you think about this one?
I don't know
Have you
yet.
checked it out yet?
No.
You know anything about it?
Oh yeah, I grew
What
up
do
in
you,
this I grew up in the city, so like this city is like where like I did a lot of my sports. I did like a lot of
yeah.
things. I'm like I already know the community because that's the community I grew up in.
Okay. Still high
So
school, right?
yeah,
Okay. And what are you teaching this time?
still same thing, business.
Business?
Yeah,
Okay. That's good, man. All right.
like the city is like an inner city, so it's like in terms of like reputation, I would say it's like it has a bad reputation. Like it's similar to like most inner cities that people would think of. So, but I mean, I think it'll be good, man. It's all about the teacher and the experience that you have. So I'll be honest though, I'm already gotta go to like a work conference in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that seems about right. I think my wife has to report in 2 weeks. So
Well, not the report. They want me to go to a work conference. Like they want me to like represent the school and go to the conference for my
oh, okay.
for my subject area. I'll be honest,
So
man.
they're just
I already
they're
told them,
throwing you right in. They're throwing you right in the thick of it, huh?
well, I told them, I said, unless you paying me, I'm not giving up my day of a summer to do that. So you better grease these palms. You know how
No,
that works.
I feel that. I feel that for sure.
So, but yeah, I gotta do that. That's really
Gene,
it.
What's
I
up, man?
got another thing I meant to ask you because
Yeah.
I didn't have this like, but my wife is really good for this. Do
Mhm.
you volunteer to like do
Volunteer.
school? No, volunteer for like school stuff for like to chaperone.
Okay. Well, no, I don't go out my way to do that. But if one
Me
of my,
neither. But
but
my
if
wife wants
no,
me to all the time. She will sign me up for stuff that I don't even know about.
Oh hell
well,
no.
no, no, no,
No, no,
that's not happening. No, now, but see,
She's doing it right now at the camp that I was talking about earlier.
no.
And I told her
no,
she's crazy.
no. So now, if
She's
one of
staying overnight.
no, if one of the kids asked me to go somewhere and do something with them
Yes.
on a field trip,
Yes.
that's different. Then
Yes.
I'll do it. But just randomly, hey, I feel like going to the zoo today. No, I got too much stuff to do. I'm not doing it.
No,
But it's hard to
here,
say no to the kids. If the kids ask you, you got to do it.
here's my biggest problem. I can take care of my own kids.
Hmm.
Honestly, I could take care of other people's kids. It's not a problem.
Hmm.
But these school sanctioned things, they got so many rules, man.
Hmm.
And I'm probably not going to read them all.
Hmm.
So you're probably going to have Daddy Joe over here just doing something he's not supposed to be doing because he wasn't paying attention. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't got time for all that. Or some punk kid, telling me this and that. I'm gonna be like, boy, I don't got time for you.
Yeah.
Look,
No. Um. Yeah. So I've been on a couple field trips with Champ when he was younger. His mom asked me to go, so I went. But my thing is, she doesn't work, so she can go. I have to take time off. Now, luckily, I have a job where you know I have unlimited PTO, so I could take the time off. It's not like I'm
yeah,
losing a day or anything like that.
yeah.
It's not an issue. But my thing is, she can't work, for health issues. So she can go to all of that stuff. It shouldn't be a problem. She should not, should Champ's not asking me. If Champ asked me to go to a field trip or something like that, that's one thing. But his mom, like, how come you don't go more? I'm like, why? You can go, so why do I need to
I
do it? You can go,
I'm telling you, man.
so
If I could pick the kids,
well, no, see, no.
because
See,
my
and then
son
with
got some, I would end up with all my son's friends, and some of his friends, man,
yeah.
I don't like them. I don't like them at all. I don't want to take care of you.
Now, so with DJ, she asked me to go on a field trip with her before, and I've gone with her, and now that's all girls, So I don't know what to do now. I got a group of girls, little girls I'm walking around with, and listening to them talk, and I'm zoning out, man. And then the parents, well, the teachers are making sure that I am who I'm supposed to be, you know,
Yeah, right.
asking like you're who how are you related to this little girl, and it's like, oh man. And then they'll ask you like, hey, do you want to ride on the bus with us? No, I'm gonna drive my own car, I'll meet you there, you
That's
know
the worst. I hate that. I
Yes,
last
yes. You're not. I'm telling you, you're not wrong. You're not
yeah.
la-
wrong.
this past school year, I took my class on a field trip. I took them on a field trip to the place that is in my hometown where my house is, 5 minutes away. I had to go on the bus, go back 30, 45 minutes back to the school and sit back in an hour of traffic to get back home.
Oh man.
Oh, just
That's
like
terrible.
Yeah,
that's a
yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, sorry, I had to just bring that up
That's
because
all
I
good.
field trips are fine, but let somebody else do that. There's parents that like that stuff. I'm not
Well,
one of
Angel,
them.
you kind of told us what you've been up to, so you have anything else to add to it?
no.
Nah. All right. Well, I didn't do much this weekend either, Joe. Melissa wasn't feeling good, so we pretty much just stayed on the couch, watched television. Morgan had she had her her not a bachelorette party, but she
Oh,
had like a what'd you say, Angel?
so you're saying Morgan? I'm over
Yeah.
here like, damn, he got like another kid over there and took
No,
his.
no, no. Cousin Morgan. Morgan's getting married.
God,
Morgan's getting married in a month. So she had her wedding shower. And
Oh,
Melissa
okay.
was supposed to go, but Melissa said she wasn't feeling well, so I just stayed home with her, took care of her, and then DJ was home for the weekend with us. So then I took her out. Me and her went out and spent a couple hours together on Saturday, Took her to the mall, and then went and got a book, and one of her other stores. Went to your favorite spot, Angel, Buffalo Wild Wings. She said she wanted some Buffalo Wild Wings, so I took her there. We had lunch and brought her back home, and brought Mel some food home too. So other than that, man, we just chilled on the couch. Sunday, Champ came over, so hung out with him a little bit, and did some school work with him, getting him ready for fifth grade. Did some math and reading with him. And then took DJ back to school, and that's pretty much it, man. I just kind of had a chill weekend. And Travis here, well, he was here. I don't know if he's still here. I didn't get a chance to see him. He kind of popped up and surprised my parents, I guess. So he's here, or was here. I don't know. I haven't talked to him today. But other than that, man, I just been chilling, man. Just doing work, and that's it. Working on the school. I had tonight. I did a old school team plowing workout with the kids. Man, I had them doing figure eights. Joe, you know those.
Yeah.
We did the figure
Yeah.
eights. We did some blitz drills. We did a lot of leg exercise. We did the kicks around the room 2 times.
Yeah.
Every single kick. So yeah, I took it back. I told them make sure that they stretch. Make sure they stretch tonight. Because those legs are going to be awfully sore. So yeah, it was an old school team plowed and workout I did with the kids tonight. So it was good. All right, so that's it. So let's. I really don't have a topic this week. I really didn't think of too much about it, but actually, I do. Real quick, Angel, did you see the comment that Dana White made about the UFC? I guess they had an event.
Sorry, hold on. The one thing I did watch the fights this weekend. But go ahead.
Okay, all right. Now, that kind of goes along with this because he said he wasn't giving anybody a bonus because I guess everything went to a decision. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of messed up, isn't it?
No. It's not
It was born.
no, it's not that he's not giving anyone a bonus. That's not what he was saying.
Okay,
He's
what is he
saying
saying?
he's not gonna let anyone talk him into upping the bonus prices anymore at press conferences.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. People were doing that.
So this is what happened. Did you guys hear about what for UFC 300, they said one of the fighters or one of the people in the audience, they asked a question. Someone somehow some way said, since it's UFC 300, you should give a $300,000 performance of the night. All the bonuses should be $300,000 instead of 50,000, like how they normally.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So
Okay,
all the fighters were like, yeah, 300. Then
That's a big jump.
that is
from 50 to 300. Then all of the fans were screaming it. He said, fine, F it, we'll do 300,000 for all the performance of the night bonuses. It worked out because almost every fight at UFC 300 almost ended in the finish.
Gotcha.
And then Max Holloway, that's why everybody said he had the best finish we'll probably ever see in life. And he made $600,000 off of just that finish without his fight purse and all the other stuff.
Okay.
So everybody was like, whoa, that's crazy. So then for this one, they said it again. You should up the fight prize money to $100K. So he did.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable.
He did $100K across the board. His thing is this though. He's like, people are saying if he does that, people are saying the more money he gives, the fighters are going to fight harder and they're going to try and go for the knockouts or for the finishes. And he said he's never doing that again because he's like, it proved nothing. Like that proved no point of what they were doing, that they're all going to go for the they're not going to go for that. They're just trying to win the fight. If they end up knocking the person out or submitting them, that's cool. But they weren't trying any extra harder than they would have just to win the fight. And then the main event fight was real boring and all that. So it just everything. The card itself wasn't a good card in terms of like the way it turned out. So that's why. That's why he said he's not doing no more. Like he's not going to up the bonus. It's 50,000. That's it. Just done.
Okay. Well, I saw a misleading headline. That's kind of messed up that they put it out there like that.
He's not going to let anyone talk him into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said he will announce before it happens, before everything. He will announce whether it's going to be 50, 100, 300,000, whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But he ain't just gonna do it just because everyone's like pressuring him. He's like, nope, done over with.
Well, that makes sense. I got it because then they'll just keep upping. They'll keep doing it.
They're gonna keep upping it, and then no one's deserving of it. And then they're gonna, like they said, Patty Pimblett made $200K. He said he's the only one that earned it because he was literally trying out there, trying to submit him, trying to knock him out. He was trying to do everything he did. So they said he deserved it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it was. But yeah, people are like reading too much into it. I mean, at the end of the day, that 300,000 one, it just so happened that all the fights that night were top tier fights, and it just worked out to be like the right way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It just worked out that way. But you take that away from it, nah, I don't think it would. I don't think you just adding money to it is gonna make people fight harder. I mean, think about it in sport karate. Some tournaments will give $2,000, $3,000 away for overall fighting grants. Not everyone across the country is gonna go to that tournament.
Listen. I always feel funny about that when people talk about that, right? Because I think this is my opinion. I think, yeah, right. Not many people are going to go to it at first, but eventually, if you keep doing that over time, eventually those tournaments are going to pick up. You just got to wait for that to happen.
I agree. I think I don't know, man. So
A lot of times people don't, and especially in this activity, nobody wants to be the first to do something. If they did, then the tournament landscape would have changed a long time ago. Nobody wants to be the first person to put together a different type of league with different types of rules and tournaments. Nobody wants to be the first one to change the tournaments. You
no,
know,
you're right. You're right. I think you're right.
so
Over time, it can be sustainable. I think the issue is one, the money issue will always be the issue, like whether they can continue that type of sponsorship or not. And two, it's just whether whether people are gonna come out to it, the affiliations, all that stuff. Like it gets crazy, and that's why I say so like me personally, I think the tournaments that probably will always do better are the ones that do the rodeo payouts, the ones that do like first through eighth are gonna get something, or first through fourth, depending on how big the divisions are and all that.
mhm.
Like a quick. It was like Ocean States. Ocean States. The grand prize for overall men's open weight was 15,000, right? But
Mhm.
that was split between 8 places. First place got like five. Second place got like 2,500, and then it just got less and less and less. You know what I mean?
Which is fine. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that
You
I
know,
think is the right way to do it. I think you
yeah,
do it that way and doing it consistently. That now Ocean State has
yeah.
almost 60, 70 open weight fighters for the past 3 years in a row now
Hmm.
because they do that big of a payout. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
So
exactly. It makes sense.
and they're consistently doing it. So now everyone's like, well, we have to go to that tournament. I don't want to put no tournaments out there, but just some tournaments out there are doing like crazy prize grand money. But like you just never know. Like, is it sustainable? I think you gotta pick a good number that's sustainable. If you only pick a
Hmm.
number that's sustainable and you could do it consistently, I think you're right. It will grow over time.
Yeah,
Um,
because if you start off with something and it eventually grows, and then you can go up even more later on. Like what UFC is paying now, these fighters, they weren't getting paid that 20 years ago.
no, you would be
No.
lucky if you made 5,000.
Yeah, they weren't getting that money. So over time things change,
Yeah,
and then sponsorships come. Sponsorships comes if you get the eyeballs.
yeah.
Karate combat is gonna be different in a few years.
I'll
If
be
they're able to sustain.
so since and this is gonna be like a good segue into what we're doing, right? For
Hmm.
Cobra Kai. I see karate combat as like the Sekai Taikai or Sekai Taikai. I see it similar in the way. I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not a big karate combat fan. Like I will not watch it any other time unless my favorite fighters are gonna be fighting on it. I won't watch it. Like I'm not a big fan of it. I think karate combat is going in a direction that is not sustainable. My personal opinion. Like I don't think it's gonna grow. And I think they're trying to do too much. They're trying to be too much like UFC without being UFC. Does that make sense? Like
Well, I haven't watched Karate Combat in a while, and a lot of times I don't watch it. I mean, when I've watched it, I've enjoyed it, and I've watched fighters who I don't know, so I
yeah,
don't necessarily watch it to watch Raymond or Ross. If they're on the card, that's cool, but I wasn't turning in to watch them. I just so happened to know that Combat was on, and I didn't have nothing else to do that night. So, and Melissa's laying next to me, sleep. So cool, I could watch what I want to watch on TV, so I'll turn it on. The thing is, I don't think they do a good enough job with promotion and marketing because I don't know when it's on. That's why I haven't watched the last few because I didn't know it was on. And I
Personally,
actually followed them online. I followed them on Instagram, and I still don't know but that's algorithm, right?
yeah.
So
Personally, I don't. I think it's for two reasons. One, I think it's because of their rule set. They can't over promote it because it's not gonna. People are gonna associate it too much with MMA for the way
mhm.
their rules keep changing. And then second of all, you don't know because I personally feel like there's a lot of disorganization in it. Like a lot of times you find out about cards like a month before, and you're like, like like they're just throwing fighters in there. They're just trying to find any fighter that they can. Does that make sense? Like it just to me
Oh,
sometimes.
I hear you, but you know what, man? Let's look at this, man. I 100% agree with you saying though. So
Yeah.
don't I'm not knocking what you're saying.
No,
You
no, I got
100% right, right? But also, like I think sometimes we got to get out of our own way sometimes and just do what we want to do just because we love it. If you talk about racing, there's a bunch of different type of racing. Well, you know, I mean, you got runners, you got people that race on bikes, you got people that do motorcycles, you got people that do NASCAR, and then what's the other cars? That's not
you.
NASCAR. The other,
Drag
the
race.
little
F1.
yeah that. So and everybody has their own lane and they still do their stuff and it's still popular because they found their own audience and they cater to their audience. We are always worried about trying to look like this or that, and we should just say skip it. Like, this is our activity, this is what we do, this is what we're going to promote, and if you like it, cool. If you don't, then don't watch it.
I agree with you, and that's why I liked where it was before. And that see, here's the thing: I'm really big on if you're gonna do a combat sport, make it as real to combat as you can, right? And I'm big on that. My thing that gets me is when you say karate combat, right? And we go and watch it. Sometimes it just, I guess it's just because of the name and the expectation of what you're gonna get, and then they'll have like Brazil, they'll have submission matches on there. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
let me ask you this, Angel and Joe. If you got to if you got to answer, feel free to jump in.
Yeah.
Well, Angel, what do you enjoy more watching? Did you enjoy watching Karate Combat or did you enjoy watching Glory Kickboxing? Because I gotta tell you, I enjoy watching Karate Combat more than Glory.
I liked watching Glory.
Okay.
I
I
enjoy
What
like,
about?
Karate Combat.
and I'm gonna be honest with you. I liked watching Glory for. There's a real reason why I liked watching it because it was simple in terms of understanding the rules.
Hmm.
It was simple in terms of understanding the rule set, and it was simple in understanding the just understand like it was pretty like yo. There's a tournament today, right? Like let's say like in Glory tournament, 4 fighters. You win, they do their fights, and then those guys got to fight again later in the night. You already knew how it was gonna go. The rounds were simple. Everything was super easy. I felt
Hmm.
like the production was a little bit better. Obviously it had to be better because it was on a major network on TV, right? But I felt like the production was better. I enjoyed Glory because it just seemed way easier and the rule set was easier to follow. When I look at Karate Combat, maybe it's just because, like I said, the association. It's like, what do you when you
I
see?
like.
Go ahead.
I
Why did
feel.
you like it?
I feel like it's faster. I
You feel
feel
like
like
it's
it's.
faster?
I feel like it's faster than Glory. It seemed like Glory was just really just boxing with occasional kicks and knees. You
Really?
know. That's my opinion, and maybe it's the difference because I'm so used to watching boxing in a boxing ring. I
Yeah.
used to watch Pride, it was in a boxing ring. It has that same look, and Karate Combat does not have the same type of look
That's why.
as
That's
Glory.
why I said like it has things that are such good things. I wish they would. How you said, sometimes you just need to say screw it. We're gonna do our own thing.
Hmm.
I need them to do that. I feel like they're trying to do everything
You
else.
feel like they're trying to be too much like an MMA organization.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I got you.
no, do what we do. Like, stick with what works for us. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
got you.
a good example. When Karate Combat first started coming out, they didn't have knees. We started adding in knees,
Oh, okay.
right?
Hmm.
The what you call it? There's another one now, like thigh kicks. You can kick the calf, but you can't throw a thigh kick. You can't kick. You can't do leg kicks, but you could throw a
Okay.
calf kick, which is weird, right? And you're like,
Hmm.
why? Which makes it but now they're gonna start allowing like thigh kicks and calf kicks. So I'm just like, we're like, when you look at karate, right? You would think a sweep is a sweep. So when you see a calf kick, you could assume that with a sweep. Joe, we've talked about sweeps before. Wouldn't you agree with that?
No,
Right?
I agree.
But then if you see a thigh kick, you're gonna go, I mean, I guess we do that in karate, but not really.
Not really.
Not really. How you said, like, we know to throw.
You actually gonna get pissed if somebody kicks you in the leg. You're actually gonna get a little pissed.
Exactly. But if someone
kicks up,
but if someone boots up, if someone sweeps you, you're kind of like, that was my fault. I should.
Right.
So that's what I say. Like how you said, I actually agree with everything you're saying. I get mad that it's trying to be too much like everything else. Like I get mad that they're having the submission matches and all this and that. I'm like, that's not like, what are we? And I don't want to be one of these guys that's like such a traditionalist or like a purist, right? Like it has to be one way and this is the way it was when it started, so it has to stay that way. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say the more you're modifying the rules, I'm not seeing a difference between MMA and karate combat. I'm starting to see now what it looks like now, my honest opinion, and it's no disrespect to people that do it, right? But for the guys for some people that are in there, it just looks like they couldn't make it in the UFC, so they go do karate combat. And that's really what it looks like. And I hate saying it that way. And they try to like hype it up, like we got this guy from the UFC, that guy. They never had positive records. Like you're looking like you're finding guys that are on the tail end of their career, and you're trying to like spark up another fight in karate combat, or they couldn't make it in the UFC, so you're signing them to karate. Like it just like take Ross, take Elijah Evero, take even like Raymond, take some of these guys. They're like actual fighters. They're positive in like their records. They're like, moving forward. Some of the guys that are fighting from the UFC or anything, they're like on a down slope or they didn't make it. They couldn't make it. So it just, when I look at it, I'm like, what is it? You know what I mean? They kind of like how, I don't want to disrespect karate combat because I really don't. I really like it. I just, some of the stuff they do, I don't agree with. Because, you kind of see how people talk about like PFL and stuff like that. Some people talk about PFL and it's like, they talk about it as like, it's like the little brother to the UFC. When it was World Series of Fighting, like, a lot of those guys wanted to get to the UFC, or a lot of them that got done with UFC went to World Series of Fighting. So I don't know. I just see it that way. That's just how I see it.
Okay. All right. You got anything to add, Joe?
No, I'm pretty good. I mean, good conversation. I like karate combat, but I see both sides of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't want anyone to misconstrue what I'm saying. I do like karate combat. I just wish it would do what you said, Gene. Like, let's just like, we're karate combat and let's just run with it. Not be MMA, not try to be UFC, not try to be like all these other things at once, right? So what would be cool though is if one day they kind of do like a Lithway fight, but in karate combat. That would be cool. You know what Lithway is?
No, what's that?
So basically, it's what they did in Kickboxer with the rope hands for you fight with rope. Like Lithway is an actual it's an organization where they wrap your hands in rope gauze and they make you fight, and it's Muay Thai rules. I wish they would do that in karate combat.
Well, hold on now, man. See, I was about to jump right to the show, but you can't say you keep changing the rules and doing this, that, and other.
No, I know what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. I would like for it to be like the presentation of it. Give it the Kickboxer presentation. Okay. Still karate combat, but give it the Kickboxer presentation. Like, you know how they change the arena? It could be in space. It could be in...
Yeah, I don't like that. Now, that's the part that I don't like.
I don't like it too much. I kind of liked it when it was like they did unique venues and it was more original that way. I liked it better like that. So I'm like, set up a bunch of props without the alien girls dancing in the background, but set up a bunch of props and then just have them be like, have it where you're just like, oh, hey, like
maybe they're trying to get Space Force as a sponsor.
Shoot, man. It had, I swear, it looks like they just went out onto the Vegas Strip and told people, come on, we're going to hire you.
It's probably what they did.
All right, let's talk about Cobra Kai. All right, once again, we're Cobra Kai season 6, episodes 3 and 4. What's up, Joe?
It's I like doing the show, but every time we have to break it up into I got to go back and watch it just to make sure I don't
Yeah,
get it to the
exactly.
episode 5 because I couldn't
Yeah,
remember if like the big turning point in episode 5 happened at the end of 4 or in the middle of 5. So I'm glad I did that because otherwise I might have started spilling over into 5. Anyhow, so
yeah.
we start off right at it's a gender reveal for Johnny's incoming child,
hmm
which just a quick poll, pro or no for gender reveal.
You mean me
Are you
personally
for
having?
it? Are you for it or against it? Because I know a lot of people who are both.
I have never given it a thought ever in my life. This is the first time you put that thought in my head. That would be up, to Melissa if we ever, had a kid. If she wanted to do it, okay, cool. If not, okay, cool. I really don't care.
It wasn't around when you and I were coming up. This
I
has
know
only
that,
been
but
a thing for
yeah,
5,
I,
6,
I'm saying,
7 years. So
yeah. I'm saying now, like if that something happened and she, like, I can go either way. To
Mazel
me,
tov.
to me, it's just another. I mean, man, kids are expensive, and it's just another way to get gifts. That's what it seems like to me, man. And another thing for you to spend money on yourself, setting it up and everything,
Don't sound
man.
too
So
happy, Gene. Relax, man. Don't sound too happy. Jesus
nah,
Lord.
man.
listen,
I remember. Hey, I remember when I found out about Champ. Like I had been telling his mom that it was going to be a boy. I had been saying it forever. So when they finally confirmed it, I jumped up. I was like, I told you. I know myself. So yeah, man. I don't think I would want to wait.
What the heck? How do you say you know yourself? How'd you
I will it. I will it. I was telling her for a while,
I
like
was
I
about
know,
to say,
I know it's gonna be a boy.
I'm about to say, bro, did you talk to him before? You said, hey, listen, y'all about to be boys. Don't be playing games now.
Nah, I just knew it. I felt it. I just felt it. I just knew it.
yeah, you know.
Go ahead,
Listen,
Joe.
man, my son, that was an experience because I already had 2 girls, and my wife
hmm
already told me at number 3, like, it was done. We were good.
Oh, so you were praying.
So,
Yeah, you.
you know what? This is how I looked at it at that time. I was telling everybody because everybody asked you that question that, now you got 2 girls. Everyone's asked, you want a boy or a girl? You want a boy or a girl? And, the right answer is supposed to be, I want a healthy baby. But I told everyone, I told everyone I want a boy, but I was like, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna go one of 2 ways. If I have 3 girls, I got 2 already. I know girls. Girls, it is what it is. That's gonna be my life.
hmm
Pink, purple, whatever. It's all good. Barbies, both my girls have been influenced by me. So yes, are they girly? Yes, but they both have a lot of their dad in them. So I don't got a problem with that. Now, and then the other thing I just told everyone, if I really do believe that the good Lord above wants me to have a boy. So that's how I told everyone. And I was right. I got my boy. I'm good.
That works. That works.
So yeah, it works, man. And he's all boy. So that boy, I'm telling you, when you have 2 girls and you get a boy, oh my God. I'm like, this kid, he just does stuff that little girls just don't do.
Yeah,
He got himself
That-
hurt all the time. I was
yeah.
like, what made you do that? Jump off of this and hit your head on that. Jump off of here and break your arm. Jump over. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I just gotta remember, he's a boy. That's what they
Y-
do.
That and that's what Melissa's learning now. Also, being around Champ because she has 3 girls.
Yep.
So she didn't know what it was like being around a little boy. Little boys are different. Like Champ is always running, jumping, being active, being loud, jumping around. You know, bumping on the floor. He's always doing something, rolling around on the floor. He's always
Yes.
active and doing something. And she's
Yes.
just looking like, what is going on here? And DJ the same way because little girls don't act like that. So her little girlfriends, they don't do what Champ does. So she's like,
Nope.
what's happening? So, but
It
hey,
is. It's
he's a
funny.
boy.
It's
You
funny.
know.
So of course, they had to go Cobra Kai style. So they're setting up for this gender reveal, and they're waiting for everybody, and it's just the main crew at the house getting ready, and a box shows up, and I don't understand how you don't just drop a box off and then run away. So that kind of threw me. So, but
Yeah.
they got to create some drama. You'd knock on the door and say, "Okay, here's your package," or you'd leave it if nobody came in a few minutes. But you wouldn't just drop it and I guess Amazon does that, so who knows? Um, so all of a sudden they're freaking out because they hear like something ticking in the box, and they're thinking it's like Crease or Silver sending them a bomb. And Johnny goes into what do you say? Lethal weapon. Don't move.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of a sudden you hear something go off, and Johnny walks in, and it's pink frosting or something pink, and then Daniel got the brunt of it because he didn't move, and he just
Right.
looked around and said he gave the old Danny Glover line, "I'm too old for this shit."
Yeah.
I thought that was
This
pretty good. I like when they do those references.
this episode 3, to me, out of all of the seasons and everything, this felt like a filler episode. And
Really?
I've never really felt that way about Cobra Kai before.
I didn't really like 3, but I liked it at the same time.
Okay, that's
But
strange.
Yeah.
no, I'm telling you, this is what 3 was doing. 3 was setting up all the
Future.
stuff to come. 3 was
Future.
setting up all the drama.
Yeah. I feel like 3 set up the future, but I didn't really like it though, to be honest with you. I feel like creatively now they're starting to go a little off the trail.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of felt that too, Angel.
And that's why I say I didn't like it. The reason why I say I do like it though is because they're going off the trail, it's making me be like, well, shit. I mean, now I want to know more. Now I hope I get a Mr. Miyagi spinoff. Like, let's rock and roll.
So
Like,
there's 3 things that we ended up covering in this episode. Number 1, the mysterious Miyagi story. Number 1. Number 2, Johnny is not liking what he is seeing out of Sam and Tori. They're friends now,
yeah,
so they're not really competing hard against each other. They're just kind of taking it easy. And then we find out a little bit more about Kreese, because he is in the jungle somewhere with his old instructor and their team. I was wondering, because I don't think they said, but is Kreese's instructor, does he call his school Cobra Kai also?
no, they don't. They don't even have a name for it. I don't think.
Okay,
Yeah,
I thought I might have missed it
no, I don't
because
think.
they don't say it. Okay. All right.
You're
So
right, they don't.
those are the 3 main storylines for this episode. And honestly, like I didn't really I just felt like it was a waste to me. Like I was more interested in the Kree storyline than the other 2 storylines myself.
Well,
I
and with the Creed storyline, we get the new quote unquote Johnny.
Yeah. You know what, man? Okay, I'm about to jump ahead just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I don't think because the Sakai Takai is about to be in this next group. I'm assuming it's about to be in this next part 2, the next 5 episodes.
have to be.
I'm starting to wonder if there's going to be an All Valley tournament at the end in the final 5, because why else? Why are you having a tournament so early? Like I would have thought that was been the main thing. And I'm also starting to wonder if after watching this Korean team, realistically, man, our Miyagi Do kids should not win this event.
At
No,
all.
you're not wrong. You're not
They
wrong.
should not win at all. I don't
Okay,
care
but
what type of magic they have. They
Gene,
shouldn't pull this one
Gene,
off.
but you're saying that, but Daniel never should have beat Johnny in the first one. And he
I
definitely
agree.
should have never he never should have been chosen in the second one. He
I
should have
agree.
died.
But
So
this
that's
group of
how Cobra
kids,
Kai and Karate Kid works.
yeah, but I understand what you're saying, Joe, and you're right. But my thing is this group of kids, this they look like something else. Like they look like
Yes.
they live to train. The Miyagi Do kids, the Miyagi Do Eagle Fang kids, like they still go to school, they still play video games, they still have a life outside of
Do you know
martial
what
arts.
this is? This is
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks versus Iceland.
You know, it's been so long since I've seen that. I don't even
Okay,
remember.
well,
Was
the
that the
Mighty
third one,
Ducks,
Mighty Ducks? That's the third one?
the second one, the third one they were in college. The second one,
Okay.
okay, the Mighty Ducks were just a bunch of goofs who had
Mhm.
some good coaching.
I have a feeling you're about to insult Angel, so be careful.
No, I'm not.
I feel like he
Iceland.
loves the Mighty Ducks, and I
So
feel like
I love the Mighty Ducks, but I'm just
feel like
saying
Angel is
they
gonna
were a
say
bunch
Mighty
of
Ducks is a
goofs.
karate movie. I have a
They
feeling
were
so
every
be
movie's a
careful.
karate movie. Every movie's a karate.
I have a feeling he's gonna
Oh,
say
bro.
he's gonna say the stick is a weapon. It's the same as a bow, practically, Joe. It's practically a bow. It's a bow with a hook on the end of it.
Ooh.
That's the case. I can say the same thing about Bad News Bears.
I'm just saying, there's the Mighty Ducks. They had no business beating Iceland. Iceland was just crazy good, talented.
Mhm.
They were just ice in their veins. But I mean,
Mhm.
that's how these stories work.
Yeah,
I,
but
You find a way.
these kids that Kreese and Sensei Kim are training, these kids are not training to me. It doesn't look like they're training for point fighting. It seems
No.
like these kids are almost doing training for Kumite.
Yeah.
These
I personally, I feel like you're wrong. Seriously, I feel like I don't
mm,
think they're gonna let them win. I feel like they're gonna make them lose, and I feel like that's where the movie comes into play, and I feel like that's where an All Valley is gonna come into play. I really do. I have a strong feeling about that
well,
because
this is go
in,
ahead, Angel. Go finish
in
up.
Cobra Kai, they at least from what I've seen, well, from what we've seen over the past couple seasons, right when you think you know what's gonna happen, they kind of switch up. There, I think the whole thing about Cobra Kai, like the like this series, is that they're trying to be opposite of what the movies were. They're trying to go so whatever if the movies went more towards like that storybook ending, they're trying to give it more of a cliffhanger ending. If if they like how we say Danny was the good guy when we saw these movies years ago when they were out, Cobra Kai is set to make it where Daniel looks like the bad guy. You know, I think it really does. They're really trying to play on that. They're trying to play on that, and they're trying to make it where we're gonna go back and forth. I don't think they're gonna win the Sekai Taikai. I think I personally think we're gonna. I don't even think they're gonna do the All Valley in season 5 or in part 2 of season 6. I think the All Valley is gonna end up happening in the movie. And wait, what'd you say, Joe?
No. There is no
Part
Cobra
2 is
Kai
going to be the
movie.
Sekai Takai. Part 3 is going to be the after the
That's what I.
Sekai
That's what
Takai.
I think.
Oh,
All
yeah,
Valley is
part
gonna be in
3
part 3.
I think it's gonna be All Valley, but I think what's gonna happen is I think when they do this movie, I think what's gonna happen is we're gonna see Cobra Kai starts to try and franchise. Because remember, that's what they were trying to do in the movies in the original series. They were trying to franchise Cobra Kai, and
Well,
they
I don't.
couldn't. I think they're gonna
Yeah.
go back to that.
Well, I don't think Cobra Kai is going to have anything to do with the movie.
You don't think
And
so?
I think I think it's going to be a different direction for Daniel, especially since Jackie Chan's character, Mr. Han, is going. I don't think they're going to be going up against Cobra Kai. I
I
think it's going to be something else, another team
well,
that gets introduced.
I think they're gonna reference it. I feel like somehow,
Oh
somewhere,
yeah, probably, yeah, definitely,
they're gonna still connect all these things. They're gonna find
yeah,
a way to loop stuff in because
yeah.
just from what we've seen in this whole entire Cobra Kai series, they've always tried to go opposite of what the movies were. That's what I've always noticed. They always try to go opposite. Johnny was made to look like
Well,
the bad guy. Now you're trying to have a heart for Johnny. You know what I mean?
if you don't have the All Valley in part 3, you have to be building up to something with those last 5 episodes. Like there has to be like it can't be like they're getting ready to go to college and that's pretty much it. And like
Wait, so it got confirmed for that we're gonna have a part 3? I thought they only
yeah,
part 2.
no,
There's
there's
15
part 2.
episodes.
Yes, 15 episodes. So in November we'll get part 2, the next 5, and then in 2025, before the movie, there's going to be 5 more episodes. They didn't say when it was being released, though. They
Probably
just
come
said
out
in
in February.
2025.
Probably come out in
Huh?
February.
Huh?
Probably come out in February.
I think it's going to be early. I think it's going to be early because I think the Karate Kid movie comes out in the summer. I think it's like May or June.
Yeah,
So
right, that
this will probably wrap up. This will wrap up before the Karate Kid movie.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but you know, there has to be something in the part three. They have to be building towards something, and with the Sakai Takai in the middle, it just seems kind of odd to me, right?
No, I was shocked at the end of these episodes. I was shocked that we went into the shock because I thought
I
the
was
second
too.
guy was going to be 2025. So I
Yeah,
said, okay, so we're going to get the tournament, and either the tournament's going to be 10 episodes with a conclusion, or we're going to get the tournament wrap up in 5 episodes, and the aftermath, whatever it is, in the last 5. That's the way I'm. That's the only way it can be. I think.
yeah, we'll
But I
see.
guess
But
I'm interested to see how it happens.
let's say Miyagi Do wins. They end up winning it. You know, what do you talk about in the last 5? Okay, we got Johnny having a kid. Okay, and they might explore some more of the Miyagi mystery, but can those two things what's going to keep our interest?
It's gonna turn into spin-offs. I bet you they'll do a spin-off for the guys that are going to college and everyone's life after the Sekai Taikai. I think they'll do a spin-off for that, for Miguel, for Robbie, for everybody. I think they'll do a spin-off on that. I
Yeah,
think
but how are they going to pique your interest? Like everything that all
because
of these episodes,
we're gonna want to know what happened. The same way they piqued our interest with bringing back Cobra Kai. We want to know what happened. They're gonna
no, but
leave.
Karate Kid kind of ended, and Karate Kid had been ended for a long time before.
They got us back because we want to know what happened to him after all.
Yeah,
This.
but that was Angel. That was after what 30 years. Of course, we're going to want to know what happened.
And it was
This is
only
not
brought
this.
back.
This is
It was
not going to
only
be
brought
30
back
years.
after somebody pointed out that it could be taken a different way.
Right. So I don't know, man. Like I said, it's only going to be 5 episodes, and there's got to be a reason for us to want to. You know, they're gonna need to want to build us up, and with the Sakai Takai not being at the end, it just seems weird to me. Like it has to be a crazy big ending that
Well,
they're
they're
gonna
doing
build
a
up
good
to.
job because right now we keep
So
talking about how we don't know what this ending is. Watch some surprises. We're gonna be like,
oh,
whoa!
it's gonna have to. It's definitely gonna be a surprise. But
It's
let's
gonna
say
be. It's
let's say
gonna be.
Sakai Takai happens in episode 10, right? Let's say 9 or 10. It happens then, right? Well, there's going to be some type of conclusion. We should not see Crease in California. He's wanted. So he can't be a threat to them. He can't come
No, I
back to the
agree.
United States and be doing things. So we
Yep.
got rid of Crease. So I think in part 2, I think Silver's going to come back in part 2. That's what I think. But we'll see.
That
And
would
I'll
make
get
it
to that in a minute. I'll get
interesting.
to that. Matter of fact, I'll get to that next week. What I think about Silver.
Can
So we,
we?
like I said, we got those 3 stories. We got the Miyagi mystery that Joe can talk about in a second, and then we have the girls, Tori and Sam, and then we have the what's the last part? What do I miss? Oh, Kreese and his team.
Um, yeah, I'm good. So first off, the Miyagi mystery, they made this big deal about it. We all knew it was coming. What was it going to be? It was interesting. It shows Miyagi had a dark side before he became, the all-knowing, easygoing, don't fight unless you have to, Mr. Miyagi. Okay, no big deal. It also showed, well, I guess I saved that for 5, but in this point, they said he was a part of an assault and a robbery. And so the thing about
Possibly.
this, I know that's the problem, possibly.
You know, if you know Mr. Miyagi, I really don't. Newspapers can get things wrong
Yeah,
because they're going off of hearsay,
That's back
not
in
that
the 1940s.
right. Exactly, Angel. Exactly.
but
And
the thing that got me about this is that it shook Daniel so much, like that.
I hated that.
He,
I hated that.
I know I'm the same way. It's just I said the same thing. Like I am a fan of Daniel, but this show Every time I start watching it, it
It's-
literally just makes me less and less of a fan of Daniel.
You guys really
And he's
think
really gonna.
you guys really think that Daniel's like a kitty cat, bro? I swear, like it cracks me up.
No, it's not that. It's just like, in the Karate Kid, you want to root for Daniel, and then in the second one, you want to root for Daniel and Miyagi. But to be honest with you, without Miyagi, I don't think we would like Daniel at all.
No, we wouldn't. Like I said
Honestly.
last week, like he would have fit in perfectly with the the Cobra Kai guys in the Karate Kid. He's just like them. He's hot head. He got an attitude also. I definitely could have seen him, joining in, laughing at someone else's misfortune.
Yeah.
The only difference between him and the Cobra Kai guys was he probably didn't have money like they have. And I don't even know if those other kids in Cobra Kai had money. We know Johnny had money, but we don't know if the other kids had money growing up.
Johnny didn't even have the money. It was his stepdad.
Right, but he still had
Yeah.
nice cars and motorcycles and all of that stuff, and he was at the country club and all of that. We didn't really see that. We didn't really get a background for the other Cobra Kai kids. We just kind of assumed they did because they hung around Johnny, But Angel, how did you feel about this little Miyagi mystery?
Like I said, I didn't like it because okay, one thing I just don't like, I don't like how they go into random Miyagi stories and kind of like be creative with it because he's not here. So it's like it really does. That's like a real cliffhanger. Like, was he or was he not? Like, we never get to hear Miyagi act out everything. So I don't like that. One thing I don't like is like how they're trying to go way off the rails with the creative part of it and they're trying to keep because I think this is the issue. Miyagi, you can only keep him but so much relevant without changing his story, without adding to it. You know what I mean? Because we only saw him do but so much in the first 3 movies or first 4. So I feel like them going this creative route, I kind of don't like it because it's just not his. You wouldn't think of it as him, as you guys said. I just wouldn't think Miyagi would do that. But I do like it because it grabs my attention because I'm like, I don't think he would do that. So it keeps me invested, and that's when I was like, I think they're gonna do a spinoff on just this, kind of like a prelude of just like who Miyagi was before he met Daniel.
Okay, let me ask you guys both this: if this situation happened to you guys, would you care? So if you found, I mean, it might be different for you, Angel, because your instructor was your dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's going to change me. I'm not going on no mission finding out if my uncle beat somebody up and robbed him. I'm like, shit, damn, that's messed up. And I'm going on with my day.
I mean, personally,
But
even, like my original instructor is from New York, right?
Okay.
And I still will go to him whenever I can. Just in general, like how many people in the martial arts do we see on an everyday basis that probably have some type of criminal record or past? We all don't sit there. We all don't sit there and like go, "Oh, we're not going to talk to him."
Right.
People still shake their hands, still talk to him. I think at that point, I feel like Daniel. You want to know why Daniel rocked them so much and why?
Because Mr. Miyagi was like his version of Jesus. That's why he worshipped Mr. Miyagi.
Yes, yes, in so many words. Yeah, that I didn't like it either. And I was just like, what I saw was, and this is my issue with Daniel. This has been my biggest issue with Daniel since Cobra Kai started. It's just he identifies with Miyagi so much that he almost loses his own right to just have his own judgments and his own right to think. How you look at him as Jesus and worships him and praises him, and it's like you identify. Like, let's be honest, man. The only reason in the 3rd episode, he told Johnny, there comes a time you have to give up the gig and you have to get a real 9 to 5. I feel like Daniel hasn't really done that.
Daniel?
Yeah.
Daniel has a whole business.
But how did the business come about? Because of Miyagi. Everything he's doing is because he's still. I just feel like he still worships him, and that is fitting his life. He says all that, but he built a whole entire bonsai dojo in his backyard. Like literally, He would have no
Well,
reason to do that if it
It's
wasn't
okay
for.
to honor. It's okay to honor someone like that, but to hold him on such a pedestal that any little thing can shake it, that is
That's
the part that pisses me off.
that's what I'm
Because
saying.
everybody has a past. Everyone is not. Your past is not who you are. Okay, if you're a
mhm.
good person, when I meet you and you're a good person, and you're trustworthy and you're loyal, that's who you are now. That it's not. It doesn't matter what's in your past.
Listen, and I agree too. But my thing is, you don't know the whole story, what happened. I'm talking about Daniel, like, and
Yeah.
he is crushed, you know. And knowing Mr. Miyagi, somebody else could have robbed or beat this person up and lied on Mr. Miyagi, and Mr. Miyagi, could have took off and was scared or whatever. We don't know,
What
but
if
he.
what if it was his brother and he took the rap for his brother because he didn't want his brother to go?
Well, hold on. That was another question I was about to ask you guys, because they they didn't give us real enough clarification if Mr. Miyagi really had a brother or not. So Daniel finds all of this information, and the first name was wrong, the birth date was wrong, the last name was right, and there was a picture of Mr. Miyagi. And then Daniel said that Mr. Miyagi have a brother or something like that. When they go to the boxing gym, the guy says, "Yeah, my pop and Mr. Miyagi were bros." But I don't know if he was saying it like, they were homeboys,
They're
or if
all
they were little brothers. Because if
Yep.
Mr. Miyagi had a brother, we would have known about it in the second movie.
True.
They did not say anything or allude to anything about there being another Miyagi son in that second movie. That is pretty bad writing. If he had a brother and they did not mention that at all or anything, that at some point in time we would have heard something in between those three movies and the beginning of Cobra Kai. There should have been something about his family. And we all we ever been led to believe was he had a dad, and that was it.
Yep.
yeah. Well, you got me there.
And, and you know what, man? Also, man, Daniel acts like Mr. Miyagi's way of teaching Miyagi Do is the only way to teach Miyagi Do, and he's not right.
No.
He's not right at all, because Chosen and Sato were not teaching the way Mr. Miyagi Do, but they were still teaching Miyagi Do. But they didn't teach like Mr. Miyagi taught.
Nope.
They were more like Cobra Kai.
Yes.
No,
You know.
I again, that's why I don't like that he's not around to give his story and all that stuff and to build his character, because we're just left with a bunch of hearsay and
Mm-hmm.
just a bunch of what ifs. And
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It adds to like capturing people and it makes them want to like know more about Miyagi, which is why I was like, they probably did that as like a little Easter egg to now set up for a spin-off for a prelude on who Miyagi Do was and how
Yeah.
he became Mr. Miyagi.
And that's pretty stupid. I mean, Daniel knew about Mr. Miyagi's first wife or only wife, and he knew about him, his child dying. Mr. Miyagi failing to mention that he had a brother, that doesn't even make sense. So I hope that guy is just a close friend of Mr. Miyagi and not actually an actual blood
That's
brother.
what I think it is. I think it's just a close friend. I
Yeah,
feel I feel like he just what it sounds like, knowing who Mr. Miyagi is, he probably took the fall for someone to do better. And he probably thought he
that's
was and he
that
probably
sounds
thought
about right.
he was never gonna come back to America. So he probably did that on purpose. You know what I
Probably
mean?
right.
So
Mhm.
that's what it feels like. But I will say this, man, like, and I now wish I can go back to the older movies and stop it and someone could tell Daniel, move that bed real quick and go look at that.
Ask him about it. Yeah. Right. Good luck.
Go ask him right now.
Um. So Johnny's idea to get Tori and Sam back on track. What do y'all think?
That was stupid.
Stupid as hell.
That was
Okay,
dumb.
but
That was
it
straight up.
was dumb. But in the end, it did work.
That was
Not the
It,
way he had hoped.
I don't understand why nobody just sat them down and said, "Hey, you guys aren't really fighting the way that we need you guys to fight. We have to step up the competition. Like, come on, somebody got to light a fire up under them. You know,
Yeah, but here's what was really happening. See, Johnny thought the fire was gone, so that's why. But what really would happen was they didn't want to get to a bad place again, so nobody wanted to push themselves, thinking if you hit them, if you get a good point or something on somebody, it's going to go back to being in a feud. So
But
it was all wrong. They never fully addressed the issue, and that's what Johnny got him to do with his whole scheme of trying to get them being pissed off at each other again. They
but the
finally resolved the issue so they could now be around each other and actually train.
the people who should have said something were Robbie and Miguel.
Yeah,
That's who should have stepped in and said something,
true.
or found out what was their issue. But they eventually overcame it and dealt with it. And
And
they just had to really talk. I guess we never really saw them talk about their issue
We never
before.
have actually. We've only seen them.
Yeah. So
what do you think of Johnny's obsession with keeping Devin on top?
I think Johnny is a lot like Crease.
Yes.
And the students, he cares about his students a lot. You know, you talk about Miguel, Devin, Hawk. Those are like his kids. Even Robbie, those are like his kids. And him bond. I mean, what other girl was around to help him patch things up with Tori and Sam? Devin has a relationship with Tori from the last season because Tori
Yep.
was like a big sister to her. So of
Hmm.
course he's gonna turn to her. Now Devin and Sam really don't have too much, you know, in common as of right now. They don't. We'll see what happens in this next five since they're gonna be teammates or whatever. But I like that. Johnny steps up and and supports his student. He even did that in the last season when he saw Devin in Cobra Kai. He got ready to blow him and Chosen's cover and run in it and get her out, and
Yep.
Chosen had to stop him. So
Yeah, I forgot about that. Um,
and then we have Crease.
what about
Crease and
Crease?
his Crease. Once again, he is the master manipulator.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, man, and the way he played Quan and he liked Quan from the get go.
Of course he did. He
Yeah,
just had to get him in line.
yeah. And I mean, he was smart because he said he knew that was the one that was causing all the issues, and the reason why he was causing all the issues is because he believed he was the best fighter out of everyone. So once Kreese helped him prove that he was indeed the best fighter, there's no more problems. Quan's not saying stuff, stepping out of line, and being arrogant and trying to show up. It's already been proven that he is their best fighter.
Crease is one of the greatest villains of all time.
Once again, Joe, I don't look at him as a villain.
It's okay, but he is the bad guy. Like he knows
He,
what he's doing.
yes, but
I think he's more anti-hero.
yeah,
Sure, let's go
yeah,
anti-hero. Either
yeah,
way, he is great. He looks the part. He acts
yes,
the part. He
yes,
knows exactly what he's doing.
yeah.
He's when you think he's crazy and like off his rails, he's
It
really
all
not.
comes
It's
together.
all the only time he actually was off his rails was the end of 2. And he just because everything was unraveling. He was on top and he got brought down by a stupid ass kid who's got 6 weeks of karate and an old
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
But other than that, when he's hyper focused, like he's hard to stop.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
So he ends up putting his team together, and they're good to
yeah,
go. So we can go to episode 4.
and he didn't even finish stop there because he's got his sights on another part of the team,
Yeah, and once
and that
again,
showing
and
his
that's
manipulation again.
and once again, like Tori is one of his. That's one of his students. That's
Yeah,
even though it was
yeah,
Johnny's first. Him and Tori were always close ever since season 2.
yeah,
So that's one of his kids. So he is going to take care of his kids and protect his kids, just like he did with Johnny and Robbie and even Silver. Like he protected Silver. He protected his girlfriend. And
yep.
I really hope we get some clarification. If his girlfriend really did die back in the day, because I still don't believe she died.
Yeah, I
I
know.
I really don't. So that might be a way of turning things around for him in the long run.
I feel
We'll
like
see.
We'll see.
I feel like that'll be the way they have him exit the series.
Oh, I think he's gonna die. But yeah, that
Bro, you just want him to die.
I don't want him to die, but
No?
there will not be any purpose going forward
I
for
think
Kreese.
you know he can leave the series without dying, right?
He can, but what's the point of that? Like
You
Kreese is the type of person that wants to
die. That goes back to what I'm saying.
Kreese is the type of character that wants. I feel like he wants to die on the sword. Like I can't see. Can you? I don't want to bring another Star Wars thing, but can you see Vader just retiring? He had to die. He had to die in Return of the Jedi.
Vader retiring. He's just yep. I am a head out.
Yeah, I know I wiped out a group of younglings, but you know I'm a nice old man now. No, you gotta
Yeah,
go.
it's not gonna work.
Buddy.
Not gonna work.
You know, go ahead, Joe. Episode 4.
Johnny and Chosen and Daniel, they decide that they can't be the ones to choose because they all have their favorites. And so they bring in Mike Barnes.
No, that is stupid. That was so stupid. I hated
Why?
this part.
Why?
Let's be realistic. Out of the Miyagi-Do Eagle Fame, they already knew their top 5. The
That's
top
fine,
5
and
should,
we all knew that. We all knew that,
but
and they still had to add. They still
no, they
added
didn't need,
drama
they
to
didn't need to
that,
do that. They didn't need, they
but
didn't
they
need to,
did.
they didn't need,
That's
they
what they
did not
do.
need to do that. They already
Okay,
knew
but bringing an
Miguel and
outside
Robbie.
source in, bringing an outside source in is smart.
No, not for their top 5. Hawk, Robbie, Miguel, Sam, and Tori did not need to do their. Daniel even said at the end of this episode, you knew. He told Johnny, he said you knew Hawk needed to be on this team.
Because he
I think
did.
exactly. So they shouldn't have had a competition with their best 5. That competition should have been for everyone else to make that last part of the team. Make the
Equal
team.
opportunity.
No, they didn't need that. Why?
Because you can't just say these are my favorite,
What?
these are the best.
But no, everybody already knew that. They even said when they were what were they in school or whatever, and they said, "Oh well, we got 2 All Valley champions and 2 runner-ups. We're
Yeah.
shoo-in. Those 4 should have been a shoo-in plus Hawk.
Should've.
It should have just been all of them, all of the rest of those kids competing for the last spot, and they could have made that
Okay,
more
but
dynamic.
Mike Barnes made it interesting and still picked almost the same exact group.
Almost, but then Daniel had his panties in a bunch because Daniel was kind of mad.
When doesn't Daniel have his panties in a bunch in the seat and everything? I'm over that. It's not new anymore.
No, but
Because
you think it was right for him to want Anthony on the team?
no,
it
was not.
But he got mad at Johnny for wanting Devin on the team.
I agree.
That
stupid.
Yeah, extremely stupid. Extremely stupid.
The thing when Johnny and Daniel finally get into it again, I agree with Johnny again. Daniel was wrong.
Are you talking about the part in episode 5 or in this one?
Okay. Yeah, I think episode 5. Episode 5. I think it happens in 5, right? Yeah.
Yeah. In this one, they didn't really have a conversation. It's kind of they were.
No, this one it set it up. This one set it up.
Yeah.
But 5, what he does in 5, I'd be pissed too. It was wrong. It was stupid.
What do you guys think of the competitions that they did? The endurance, the speed.
I thought it was like Rocky.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine. Anytime you got to chase the chicken. I mean, you've seen it in Rocky, seen it again in Beverly Hills Ninja, which was a comedy. So of course we see it there.
So who would have been your 6, Joe? Who would have been your 6 on the team?
Honestly, I'm okay with the way things are. I probably would take out Dimitri and put in the one who crapped his pants. What's his name?
Kenny.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, it would have probably been Kenny.
So Miguel, Robbie, Hawk, Sam, Tori, and Kenny. That's who you would have had?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What about you, Angel?
Kenny or Devin. One of those two.
Miguel, Hawk, Robbie, Tori, Sam, Devin.
Okay.
How about you?
Um, I don't know. I really don't know because of course, the top five, of course. I think Kenny would have been a better fighter. Now, this is another thing. They haven't really said anything other than I'm assuming this is fights. Because at the last All Valley they had breaking and they
Said
had
team
arms, they had
competition.
weapons.
I think they're doing the same thing or something similar.
If it's just straight fighting, I would want to put my best fighters out there. And that's the case, then I'm gonna have Kenny over Devin. You
Yeah.
know,
And
they
there was something I saw. I don't know if you posted it. No, it was karate after the dojo or something like that. Did you watch that?
no.
Oh yeah.
So,
That's on Netflix.
so there was it's like 11 minutes, and they show a bunch of clips from the current season and then just a few from the other. And there was a YouTube that kind of overanalyzed some of that. And
Mhm.
somebody pointed out that it looks like they're going to be doing like tag fights.
Okay. Another thing they should have told us also was how many boys and how many girls. Because you don't want to have a situation where the Cobra Kai team has 5 guys and 1 girl.
Yeah.
Because if that's the
It
case,
looks like
Devin's gonna
most
get messed
teams.
up.
Yeah, it looks like most teams have 2 girls and 4 guys.
Mm.
That's why.
If you look around, but that's what it looked like. Although, did Cobra Kai have 2 girls? I mean,
We saw girls training, but they only
yeah,
showed that they didn't show Cobra Kai's full team.
yeah, you're right. They didn't. They're probably gonna throw something else at us.
Yeah, so we don't know. But
Lastly, we got the last competition. So the competition came down to they had 4 people left for the final spots. So they basically, or no, for the 2 spots. And so they did like what was it, like a sudden death kind of thing,
yeah,
where
like kind
they
of relay race to get
yeah,
2
capture the
flags. Yeah,
flag.
yeah,
And there was all kinds of drama in that
yeah.
because
And
2
then
flags, 4 people.
Dimitri got upset because he found out Hawk finally confessed that he hadn't applied yet to MIT, and Dimitri kind of got upset because he wanted to go to school, with his boy. And Hawk was just being realistic, like, hey, I don't know if I want to go there. I may want to explore some other schools, which is fine. I mean, I felt like Dimitri just went a little too far, but I do like that Dimitri's girl Yasmin. She had his back and kind of
Yeah,
snapped them in the focus.
I agree with that, but Dimitri has a little too much Daniel in him.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
He's a
that's
baby. He's
yeah,
a baby. If your friend doesn't want to go to school with you, get over it. You'll see him. You don't got
exactly.
to beat him up and be a baby about it. And that's what he did. He was a baby about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because so there was 2 paths to take. Dimitri and Hawk went the one way. Hawk should have won, but Dimitri basically faked him out, little bitch move, and kicked him at the last second. Took off. He won. And then it was Devin and Kenny on the other side. And Kenny had a stomach issue because penis breath, aka muscles now, I guess, had a laxative that he was showing off for whatever reason. And it looked like someone had laxative Kenny's water,
yeah.
which, Kenny assumed it was Anthony, but then they do show it was, which I already knew. I was like, that was obviously Devin.
Yeah,
But how
something's
would she
wrong with
even
Devin.
known? How would she have known that she was going to end up going the same way as Kenny?
Uh, I don't think she knew. I think she just kind of it just kind of happened. I think she was just trying to
But
eliminate
that's
a
what I'm
person.
saying. If you were going to try and win this competition and you couldn't possibly know, why would you take out only one person when you would have had to take out 3?
Yeah.
Because easily she could have went the same way as Hawk,
What kind
and
of
then she would have
confused me
lost no matter
also?
what.
What kind of confused me also is before this day, there were 8 finalists. We had the 4 that were already picked, and then it was 8 kids left. And Mike said that he was going to think about it. He was going to tally up the scores and then think about it. So when they did this race, I was assuming that there should have been other kids running also. But he just kind of picked 4 kids on his own that he was going to put in this race.
Well, I think it was the 4 he was basically having trouble choosing between. So he's like, let's just Him and I think Johnny. I think he had his mind made up, and then him and Johnny got into a fight, and it made him think about it more. And so he said, "Let's do it this way and make it fair."
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how fair it was because he said that when he originally approached him, he said Devin was at the bottom of the list. You know, so he wasn't even thinking about her. So,
Nope.
What you guys think about that fight between Mike and Johnny?
It was decent.
Angel, it was so. It was a little unnecessary.
Me personally, I don't like seeing Mike fight. Personally, I don't.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just feel like he just doesn't look like, I don't know. He just doesn't have the same charisma that he had before in 3 and all that. So when I see him fight now, I almost see him as like I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain it. It's just his fight scenes don't look that good to me.
Did you guys notice that Chosen was not there for this competition?
Oh yeah.
I didn't
So
know.
so he ends up going back to Okinawa. So after Daniel and Amanda leave, after they, this Miyagi mystery, Amanda says something like, let's not waste time or something like that. And he gets his phone out and he looks for flights back to Okinawa. So he's gone. He's going back to Okinawa. I'm assuming he's going to meet back up with them at the Takai. Also, I think in this next group of 5 episodes, I think that they just, planted the seeds for there to be a problem with Kenny and Anthony while everybody else is gone. I think that Kenny is going to start going back to his old ways and wants to leave. If that happens, do you think anybody else is going to leave with him? Because I think Silver's getting out. I don't think Silver's going to stay in jail.
Yeah, he's a
rich guy. Huh?
Yeah, he's gonna get out.
Yeah, he's a rich guy with money, and there's nobody else around to watch the kids, and he, so I mean, unless Mike trains the rest of the students while everyone else is away, which would make sense, and I would like to see that.
Be interesting.
But I think Kenny might dip and take some people with him and go back to Silver, especially if he got issues with Anthony.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh man, now you make me think. Dang, I hate it when you do that. I mean, I like it, but I hate it.
There has to be something else for this next group of 5. Like this next group, we're probably going to get the Takai situation. We're also probably going to get something with Chosen and what's her name? Kamiko,
yeah.
whatever her name is.
Kamiko.
They're probably gonna show us something. Something's going on because Chosen called her and she never responded. She never called him back, which is not like her. So that's why. So something is going on back in Okinawa. You never know. Who knows what's happening? Why she didn't call him back? And then you're gonna have Anthony and Kenny. Their situation is gonna go.
So many storylines are gonna be happening. It's gonna be crazy.
What'd you say?
That'll be interesting.
So many storylines are gonna be happening.
Yeah. So this next 5 is gonna be pretty good, I think. So we got one more. We have one more to get to. We'll talk about that next week. But do you guys have anything else you guys want to say or discuss?
No, I'm good, man.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, cool. Well, that's it for this week. Cobra Kai season 6, episode 3 and 4. We'll be back next week with a wrap up of the whole season and also episode number 5. Everyone stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week, and I will play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.